Hi there, this is Chuck with Pocket Snakes. I'm just beveling some English bridle leather that I stripped up and spooled up too tight in preparation for some breeding. I don't know how long I'll be live, but I've been trying to get on live once in a while here. Putting a 30-degree bevel on some English bridle leather. I had it spooled up a little too tight and thought I'd share the process of beveling it to a triangular shape on the bottom. So I'm just beveling, putting a 30-degree bevel on some English bridle leather that I stripped into a contiguous strip. You're welcome to ask questions. Hi, Emily. I'm trying to kind of straighten out some curly Q leather. I used to spool stuff on spring steel 3/32 inch rods, and so I've got a lot of curl in the leather, and I'm trying to bevel it so that I can braid it into something. I haven't decided what to braid yet. Your dad does that. That's cool. I'm not quite sure what I'm going to braid out of this yet, but I had a spool of leather that I wanted to prep for braiding part of it. I find braiding soothing. I've got a bunch of feet of this, probably 8 feet or so. But I have a whole spool here that I want to prep some string out of, and it turns into a porcupine or a pigtail. I'm not going to do the entire spool. I just want to go through the sections where I have damaged that surface grain a little bit by cranking it on too small of an area. And so I'm just this leather's a little thicker than the last, so I gotta be sure I'm cutting all the way through it. This is some English bridle leather that I had prepped by turning it into string. Wow, that is some thick stuff. I'm going to make it match the other size as best I can. You can get an idea as to how much coil there was in this. Now this has just that little corner right there is the edge of the lace from the other side. This is all offcut. It's kind of a pretty piece of offcut, but this is 7-ounce bridle leather, Sedgwick's or something like that, an English bridle. Might cut it down to about a little bit more than a 1/4 inch. So turn it into some 1/4 inch lace for doing some projects. It's kind of a waste because it's thicker than I needed, but thank you for joining me. I'm just trying to dress some lace, make it uniform. This happens to be an English bridle leather. This came off a double shoulder. And now I'm getting to where the surface is pretty good. It's triangular. Let's see how much I've got. Probably a dozen foot or so. I'm going to cut it off. Feed it back through. And of course, I moved the camera, so sorry about that. This is a better view than if you were sitting in my shop watching this than you would get sitting and watching it in my shop anyway. So it leaves a spine. I'm going to probably knock the spine down. It's full of all sorts of curlicues. See if I can get a little this. Let's see. Get to my bench splitter here. Drag over my bench splitter. This bench splitter is an Osborn 86. And this model's from 1860 or 1865. I'm going to try and take some of this spine out. I'm not sure what I've got the bench splitter set to right this second. I've got it set a little small. This drops the platen on this. This was an old barn find. I've got it coated in lanolin right now. And that's about what I want to do. I want to just knock that spine down a little bit. Not a tremendous amount. Feed it underneath. Feed it down through. There's the spine taken out of the beveled string. So I'm going to take, like, this is the English bridle leather that I turned into string that I beveled. Now I'm going to do the same with the brown. Basically trying to get the brown and the black the same thickness. Yeah, I'm making some string or some lace to trying to knock down the the spine a little bit. Trying to prep some braiding material. Now this string is thinner than the black was. And it wants to turn into a fishing knot. Because I did a horrible thing and spooled it up on the wrong kind of spool. So there's the brown. So I need to pack a little bit of moisture in there. But yes, I'm making some lace. Try and move you over. Let's see the braiding hook. Braiding hooks looks like a mess because it is one. It's braiding some real fine stuff. And probably don't need most of that up there. See if I can. I'm gonna toss a bit of string up here. See if I can take some beef tallow and just work some moisture into this. This piece is 10 or 12 feet long. So I'm going to walk across the room, but you can't see me, unfortunately. Looks like it's more like 15 foot. Trying to condition it. Get some beef tallow. Some oil packed back in there. where it's dry. I'm just trying to work some moisture in. Another goof of my magic mix. Trying to keep the corgi hair off of it. Keep the corgi hair off of there as best I can. That's the brown. This is the black. Just trying to pack some tallow and beeswax mixture into it. It's almost like a Dubbins, like a waterproofing. Okay, so I've got all this extra tallow in my hands. That's why I always end up with soft hands at the end of this process. So this is going to set and soak that tallow in for a while. And I've got to go run an errand, and then I'll come back. If you hit the like or the subscribe, I'll come back on and I'll show you what I'm going to make with this. But in the meantime, thank you for joining me in my little shop as I was beveling and knocking back some high spots on some lace, and working with the beef tallow and beeswax mix. It's pretty decent on skin. My skin's always, my hands are always moisturized, but my skin's always dry. So that's the process of prepping lace for braiding. And I will be back, and you guys can watch me do some braiding maybe.